my question is that why Chinese authority engaged for so long and in such massive and a largely sterilized and intervention to resist the appreciation of yuan?
I think that the Chinese leadership is somewhat scared by what happened in Japan in the 1980s. At that time, the Japanese yen appreciated very significantly. Later on, Japan experienced some kind of major stagnancy throughout the 1990s. However, I doubt very much that the stagnancy of Japan was really due to the appreciation of the yen. It may have some effect, but the main cause I think is not really there. The main cause is that in Japan, in the beginning in the late 1980s and early 1990s, it changed its law and in effect the number of hours of work per week in Japan was reduced by more than 10%, and that significantly lowered the GDP of Japan. So I believe that that's the main cause for the stagnation in Japan, and it's not really that much related to to currency matters. On the other hand, in principle, well, if China wants to keep the yuan earnings value stable, it is able to do that. But then it could cause inflation. You either allow the yuan to appreciate, or inflation will occur. You cannot have both. That means that you cannot have a stable yuan and at the same time no inflation, given that the Chinese goods are right now so much cheaper than the goods in other countries. But in another sense, I'm not sure that the IMF complaint is entirely valid. Well, a lot of the people in other countries like China to raise the value of its exchange rate, but that could mean that consumers in Western countries would have to buy Chinese goods at higher prices. That would not be beneficial to those countries at all. That would not be beneficial to the consumers. However, that would be beneficial to a few competitors with China. From China's point of view, well, raising the exchange rate would help its consumers, but it will not necessarily help some of the exporters. However, we also need to understand that consumers in any country usually would have a very little influence on the political decisions. This is because the interests are very diffused and they are not organized. But some trade unionists or maybe some association of exporters will often have a much powerful impact on government decision making. Therefore, even though appreciating the yuan is a good idea for the national interest of China, that is often not done.
Okay, thank you. And my second question is from the point of IMF, and they said the Chinese currency yuan is sterilized intervention by the Chinese authority, and this will bring unfairness competitive to the rest of the world, to the rest of the competitors. So, what do you think about this?
Well, this kind of complaint, I think, is somewhat unfounded. Now, from the point of view of another country like some of the European countries or like the U.S., the cheaper is the yuan, the better off they are. I mean, from the point of view of their national interests, you don't. When you are trying to trade with other countries or trade with just another person, you would like to buy the good at the price which is as low as possible.
Yeah.
So you don't want the goods to be more expensive. Therefore, that kind of statement are just excuses made by some lobby groups. So I won't buy that kind of argument at all. In the WTO or the World Trade Organizations, they also often complain that other countries are dumping their goods. Well, the logic is the same. Dumping the good means that you are selling the goods to me at the price which is lower than the cost. Okay, that sounds to me to be a very stupid logic. Why should I keep on losing money? Okay, well, empirically speaking, there have been a lot of studies showing that even though the countries that are supposed to be dumping their goods are in fact making huge profit. They have still been accused of dumping their goods, or that is selling the goods at prices lower than the cost. Okay, right now, in order to protect some of the manufacturers and some of the labor unionists, okay, many countries are accusing others of dumping the goods. Okay, Western countries like including Australia and Canada, European countries are accusing India or China for dumping the goods, and China is also accusing the Western countries for dumping the goods. So it has become a kind of a very a commonly used weapon, and all parties involved are using the same kind of weapon. So I don't think that we should really pay too much attention to this kind of political rhetoric.
Okay, thank you. And I finish my question. I will pass to my follow.
Oh yes.